traveling all over the world, and he was like trying to find a suitable house, and he found a suitable house in the southern side of Bharatavarsha. So that analogy that we have seen, that it is a like a living entity transmigrating in different bodies, and he is finally came to human form of life. And then we have seen that he also found one Puranjani, one lady, and he was he was like spending his time with her. Whatever she is doing, he is following. So that is like the living entity. He is a soul, pure soul, without any connection with the material world. But when he comes to this material world, he comes in touch with the ignorance, material ignorance. So through that, whatever that avidya, intelligence directed by avidya, whatever that is directing, he follows that. So that's how he got entangled in the material world. And then so whatever, some like he goes to, there are 5 gates through which he goes to 5 different places. So that means through 5 different senses, he is going to 5 different objects, like sense objects. So through eye, he is going to form, through tongue, he is going to taste. So like that, he is all the 5 gates are represented by 5 senses. And there are 2 blind people also, like hands and legs, through which he is going. So in this way, that full analogy is allegorically he is told. And once he left he left Puranjani and he went to hunting. So that is represent, and in a chariot he went. So that is represented by chariot is the body, and again 5 senses, 5 horses. So the analogy that is used is to represent that, like hunting is like a adharmic activity. So he is living with Puranjani, which represents dharmic intelligence. But sometimes a living entity, when he gets desire, he may give up dharmic intelligence and perform adharmic activities like hunting. So when he does that hunting, he gets tired. That means he receives the reactions of those adharmic activities, and he suffers because of that. So therefore, he again want to uh, perform dharmic activities without doing adharmic activities. So he comes back home and tries to find out his queen, Puranjani, but she is not immediately visible. So even though a person commits adharmic activities and he wants to rectify himself and situate himself properly in dharmically, immediately the intelligence will not function in a dharmical way. So he has to repent, he has to beg forgiveness, he has to rectify himself. So he is searching here and there, and finally found the maid servants, and they told she was like very morose, and he goes to that Puranjani, and he begs forgiveness and slowly appease her. So finally she comes back. So similarly, a living entity, we have the other, it's not easy from transition from adharmic intelligence to dharmic intelligence. He has to struggle, and he has to humble himself, and then beg forgiveness, and then try to rectify himself. Slowly again the dharmic intelligence will come. So with that dharmic intelligence, again he can be, whenever one has having dharmically having intelligence, he will be happy in this world. So in this way, Puranjana is happily living in this world with that dharmic intelligence. But dharmic intelligence in and itself is not sufficient. So that is being narrated through one more episode in this chapter, where dharmic intelligence is Puranjana is enjoying with the queen, In that way, life is going away, life is passing away. But there are other miseries in the life, like dharmam, jaravyadi, which one cannot avoid by simply following dharmic intelligence. So, whenever living entity, whenever it is mentioned that when he is in enjoyment mode, one thing that will happen is time passes very quickly. He will not notice how time is passing. So, when he is with the Puranjani, and like Puranjana is enjoying with Puranjani, so quickly his life is like passing, and he produced like through their couple they have produced many children, women and man. So and then he is engaged in marrying all of them, all his sons and daughters. So in this way, he is like all his like these are compared to different activities, sons and daughters, like dharmical activities. So he's like he's completely engrossed in dharma, and in this way he is spending. So life is in this way, half of his life has passed, and he is like after marriage of his daughters and sons, many grandchildren have appeared. So these are all compared to different qualities, like good qualities, like determination, all these things. So they are all appearing, and he is passing in that way. But uh, he was like so much attached to his house, his treasury, and whatever sons, grandsons. So all these things, because he is like identifying himself with that city, and then that Puranjani and everything. He is like, because of that possessiveness, he is like became attached to all of these things. But and while doing he is also worshipping so many devatas, pitrus, and other beings while executing dharmic activities. But slowly he reached the old age, which is not liked by um, uh, which is not liked by anyone, and which is not liked by a woman, because it is not favorable for enjoyment. So that analogy, that how the old age is coming, so that is narrated through a another allegory. So there is a person called as Chandavega. He is the king of Gandharvas, and he has an army who are like 360 powerful Gandharva soldiers, and they are also paired with female Gandharvas. And so they started coming and attacking the city of Puranjana, where he is living. So basically, implies that Chandavega is actually time factor, and Gandharva soldiers, male and female, they are compared to day and night. So slowly, when one is engaged in this material world, the days and nights will pass away, and they will plunder the city. So and they will attack slowly. So when that attack takes place, the the protector of the city, that is a serpent, five-hooded serpent, it started defending the attack. So that means when a person reaches the age of 50, so even though it's like old age, but he doesn't feel any weakness so immediately, because his like life airs and other things will support. So his strength will not decrease for some more years. So that fight will go, but that fight between Gandharva soldiers and the life airs will continue. And actually, he lives in that city for 100 years. So, but slowly that these Gandharva soldiers, they are overpowering that serpent. So seeing that, the king and citizens became weak. That means after 50, maybe after some more years, slowly the old age will creep in, like some things will not work. So life air starts becoming weak. So seeing that, Puranjana will become unhappy. And so he is like, he previously he was like completely moving very freely in the city, controlling everyone, like taking taxes from all the 5 different provinces. So he did not know any fear, but now he started developing fear. That means in the youth, like it appears that he can enjoy till forever. But slowly, when the old age comes, senses will become weak. So that time he will understand that he cannot enjoy forever. So, so in this way, he was like worrying. So this there is a one more person that approaches, that is called as Jara. So this is like daughter of time. So she was traveling to find a husband, but she is not finding uh, her husband. So she was also called as misfortune, Durbhaga. So because no one will accept her, and whoever accepts her, they will get misfortune. And previously, one king called Puru have accepted him once. There is a story in ninth canto where Yayati got old age because of a curse, and he wanted to exchange that old age with one of his sons. So one of his son Puru accepts that old age willingly. So therefore, that old age was accepted by Puru. And then, so in this way, this is like this Kala Kanya is sorry, this Jara or Kala Kanya is said to be Kala Kanya, the daughter of Kala. So Jara is old age. So old age is approaching, but no one wants old age. So that is being narrated through this story. So previously, one time this Jara Narada, she approached Narad Muni also, and although Narad Muni was a brahmachari, she proposed to her. But Narada Muni did not agree for her proposal. So therefore, she became angry and she cursed that you cannot stay in one place. You have to go on traveling. So, but this is like Narada Muni is a liberated soul. Curses will not affect him. But still, since this is like he cannot the the curse is like you cannot stay in one place, so he can travel in different places and preach everywhere. So therefore, he took it as an opportunity. And then, so the Skalakanya, even though she cursed, Narada Muni still directed her by being merciful that you can approach Bhaya. There is a king of Yavana called as Bhaya. You can approach him and he will accept you as as his wife. So she approached that king of Yavana. He is called as Bhaya. So the she approached and she proposed to that Bhaya that I accept you as my husband. And in general, like people in general, they fear. Bhaya means fear. So when she's like kind of saying that uh, whoever, like Narad Muni told that people's fear should become lessened. So therefore I approach you and you will become weakened. So therefore people's fear will become less. So generally, like uh, like now, devotees always mercifully try to reduce the suffering of others. So Narada Muni is also trying to reduce the suffering of all the people. So generally, devotees, they lament for two type of people. That those who think that those who give up what should be given according to scriptures, and those who those who don't follow the scriptures, or those who don't give what should be given according to the scripture and common understanding, and whoever doesn't accept what should be accepted according to scripture and common understanding, these two people, the devotees lament upon these people. So because now I am coming on my own to accept as your wife, I am an unmarried girl, you are a king. According to the rules, you should accept me. So therefore, please accept me. Like that she proposes. So, but Baya, he hearing those words, he says that actually, I thought a suitable husband for you. People on earth that they don't want they don't welcome you generally old age, because you are always creates inauspicious, and therefore they don't accept you. So but by without their knowing, invisibly you can go there and enjoy this world made of karma, and I will assist you along with my soldiers. So in this way, you destroy the population. So in this way, he's telling. So he told that old age can attack the people who are like bound by karma. So, but it will not affect so much about the devotees who are engaged in bhakti. So Narada Muni is also saying, directing to the people the old because of Narada Muni also, he cannot be affected by this old age, and similarly the devotees also cannot be affected by old age. So in this way, this old age is attacking people who are like engrossed in karma, and invisibly they are invisibly, without their notice, it will slowly attack her. And since Narada Muni told that she accepts her as a husband, but Baya told, I will accept you as my sister and as well as wife. So because he is like a dharmic person, he is like kind of accepting like that. And then, so with that combination of that Baya, and then the soldiers of Baya, which is like Jwara and Prajwara and Kalakanya, so together they attack that city of Puranjan. So, but Puranjan, because he is so much attached to his house or his city, he feels very sad when these all these personalities are attacking, and this snake is also becoming old, worn out. That means life air is also becoming slowly reduced, and therefore it is making the city useless. So therefore he is kind of lamenting in that situation. So he is like completely identifying with the city and the family, and so therefore he is undergoing a lot of pain. So because of that old age, slowly he is losing his beauty, and his ability to enjoy the senses is reducing. And he saw that all his sons, grandsons, followers, ministers, wife, everyone became indifferent, and they were like disrespectful and acting adversely. So that means all the qualities like discernment, like discrimination, good intelligence. So all these qualities are also decreasing. Senses are also not supporting. So they are not like cooperating. So in this way, intelligence is also not able to decide properly. So in this way, he is in old age, all these things are getting attacked. So he became very worried and he did not find any solution. Although he had desired to eat so many food, but he is not able to digest. And he, in this way, he is like not able to understand, like he, with that, he all, when everyone is not respecting, but still he has lot of affection for his sons and wife. The and then slowly, because of that attack, he started leaving that body. So because this Prajwara and Jwara, they started setting fire to that city, and the serpent, because of affected by that city, it slowly started leaving the city, and because so much heat is there, slowly that serpent crawled. So he also slowly kind of leaving that body, and because that fire is there, Yavanas are also like plundering that city, and everyone was like kind of crying in that situation. He he was like like about the death. He was in that situation, the death pit kind of thing. So he was thinking that when I die, who will take care of my wife and children? And he also remembered how he dealt with how his wife is always supportive to him, and who will take care of her. And he starts instructing his sons to take care of her. So in this way, he continuously lament, and in the he slowly, at that time, the Bhaya, that king of Yavanas, he will come and attack. And like when a person is like and like adharmically he performs wrong activities, then he will be pulled from that body forcefully, and that is like Yamarajas approaching and taking that soul out of that body, that is mentioned. And he did not, even at this point also, he could not remember the Supreme Lord who is situated in the heart. So he has bound him like an animal and dragging him. And in this way, while he is completely engrossed with the material intelligence, he is experiencing pain in that absorption in the material samsara. So in this way, uh, after coming out from that city, he entered into another, because he remembered that his wife Puranjani at the time of death, he became another. He was born as a daughter of King Vidarbha. So Puranjana became like the daughter in the city of Vidarbha. So now he became a she. Like in this way, like transmigration is taking place. So sometimes one will be a woman, sometimes he will be a man. So like that, whole samsara is going on. So in this life, as a wife of as a daughter of Vidarbha, she she was married to a king who is the like who is called as Malayadwaja, and he was got married to this with this daughter of King Vidarbha, this Puranjana basically, and with his valor uh, in the Swayamvara, he got married her. So this implies that the Malayadwaja in this story, he represents the devotee association. So like a living entity, while traveling in different species, in different bodies, when he finally attains the association of devotee, so that time he starts practicing devotional service. And that devotional service will actually liberate him. So that is being narrated through this pastime. So she got married to that Malayadvaja, and they produced one daughter and 7 sons. So this daughter was named as Asitekshana. So Asitekshana means like she has an inclination for serving Krishna. So Asita is like kind of black, and she kind of received the glance of Krishna. She has developed a taste for serving Krishna, like by getting the mercy of Guru, who is represented by Malayadvaja. And there are like 7 sons that were born later. So that means these are the 7 processes of devotional service: Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam. Sakyam Atmanivedanam, they are very difficult to practice in the beginning of devotional service. Therefore, they are not mentioned. So these 7 processes of devotional service represented by 7 sons. And this Asitekshana is got married to, the daughter got married to Agastya Muni. And this Agastya means basically the daughter that she developed kind of ruchi to serve the Lord. So first there is an inclination to serve the Lord, and then when he starts practicing, he gets taste for serving the Lord. So that is represented by Agastya. And they got produced one son called Drudachyuta, and Drudachyuta produced one more son called Idmavaha. So Drudachyuta means strong determination to practice bhakti, represented by, that means he developed asakti, and then he produced a son Idmavaha, who is like serving the Guru, carrying the firewood for sacrifice. Idmavaha means literally means. So that means he kind of lot of desire to serve Krishna, and exclusive serving, desire to serve Krishna, and all these things he has like kind of developed. So, and he divided his kingdom, and in this way he produced several sons. So he divided his kingdom among his sons, and he departed to a place called Kulachala. Like Kulachala is represented by like something like Venkata Hill, or some other hills where devotional service can be practiced. And he divided that into 7 like different types, means these types of bhakti are divided. So like similarly, like like Prabhupada also gives that the land, like when a disciple preaches to his when a guru preaches to his disciples, so the disciples are further instructed to preach in different locations. That can also, Prabhupada also gives that. So he this Malayadvaja, he left house and he went to that place and started practicing bhakti. And with that, the daughter of that Vaidarbhi also followed Malayadvaja into the forest. And in that forest, Malayadvaja performed severe austerities. So, like he took bath in different rivers, represented by all his impurities were purified, and he started practicing tapasya. So he also eagerly want to go back to Godhead. So he is like kind of practicing tapasya also, so that he will easily achieve the Lord. And he was like completely following the austerities, and he is fixing his mind on Vasudeva. So in this way, he practiced that bhakti in the forest, and finally with that bhakti he was like completely attained the meditation on the Supreme Lord, and he saw that the Lord is present everywhere. the Lord is present externally in all the things in this world, and also he was internally, the Lord has appeared in his antahkarana as some kind of reflection, and he saw that, and he could observe presence of Lord everywhere. So with that understanding, he was like completely give up his connection with all the gross and subtle bodies, and finally attained the Lord. So in this way, he attained perfection, and his body, external body, it was lying there. So seeing that, the Vaidarbi, she like Vaidarbi also, whenever this Malayadwaja came to forest, she also followed Malayadwaja, and whatever austerities he was performing, she was also completely following those austerities. She also could not care for her body and completely serving her husband. And when she finally noticed that her husband kind of passed away, she lamented for the departure of her husband. Like here in the story, it is like whenever a guru, like disciple should be attached to guru, and disciple should be serving guru menially. And then when guru disappears, the disciple should lament, and like she should completely, like disciple should feel the absence of his guru and feel that he is helpless. Without the help of a guru, I cannot do anything. So in that way, she is also feeling very helpless. But in order to perform the duties, she was arranged the body and arranged the all the wood, and she performed the final rites for the body. And she thought that without the guru I cannot live, or without my husband I cannot live. I will also enter into this fire because of separation. So similarly, like living entity, the disciple, he also thinks, oh, without bhakti I will not progress. Maybe I should die. Like that, he feels lot of separation from guru, and he will execute the order of his guru. So in this way, he is like he will follow the orders of the guru in his absence. So this Vaidarbi, she is like about to enter into that fire. So that time, as mentioned in the story, there was a friend, a Brahmana friend, Sakha to Puranjana previously. So he kind of noticed, now that friend has come here and started addressing this Vaidarbi. So this Brahmana is actually none other than the Super Soul, the Supreme Lord who is present in everyone's heart as Super Soul. So he is a friend to every living entity, but the living entity forgot that the living entity forgot the friend that is there in the heart. So now he could have come directly in his original form, but he is not coming directly in his original form because unless a living entity is completely pure, if a person does not develop prema, the Lord will not directly reveal himself to that person. So he came in a form of a disguise, in a form of a Brahmana. And that Brahmana started asking Puranjani the questions. Who are you? Who do you belong to? And who is this man that is lying here? And why you are lamenting for here? Actually, do you remember me? I am your friend, and previously you are with me. So like that he is asking. So like he is asking, who is lying here? So then she told, she is like my guru. He is my guru. Or like he is. Then he is like, I am a, like, do you remember me? I am your friend. Where were you? We are like previously we too lived in a lake as a friend in a Manasa lake. we two, there is a lake called Manasa. There we two together lived in that place as a two swans. So in that way we are connected. So this implies that in a heart there are like in every living entity is always accompanied by Paramatma, and like Upanishads always gives this analogy, like two swans live in the heart. Like one is Paramatma and other is Jivatma. And Paramatma is like witnessing and Jivatma is enjoying there. So in this way, he is saying that we two are two swans lived in a snake. But in that snake, when we are living, you left me, and you giving me up, you desired a place to enjoy, and you got entangled in material enjoyment. So you like for 1,000 years previously in that place, we doesn't have any place to stay. That means previous to creation in the pralaya time, it's like we were without any, like the pralaya, there will be no bodies. So you and me are together at the time of the whole cosmic destruction. And you have, after that, you left me and entered a place made by a woman. So that is actually Maya. So the Lord's Maya has created this whole material world through pradhana and other things. So in that Maya, you got entangled yourself. So by in this way, you left me and you are entangled in that Maya. And that place that you went to, that earth, and that earth is having different places, like 5 gardens are there in that body, 9 doors are there, one protector is there, storehouses are there, 6 communities are there, 5 markets are there. So these are all represented by, again, the 5 sense objects, 9 gates, and earth, water, fire, senses, mind combined. In this way, you got entangled in the material body by leaving me. And in that city, you enjoyed with a woman. So that is represented by material intelligence. And in that way, you forgot your condition and you got entangled in that city, and you could not remember me. And actually, you are actually not the daughter of King Vidarbha, or you are not actually this husband of Puranjani in your previous life. So, but actually, all this is created, this illusion is created by my Maya. So because of that, sometimes you are thinking of a woman, yourself as a woman, sometimes you are thinking yourself as a man or eunuch. So therefore, you should understand that we are actually pure living entities, hamsas. So please see our original situation. So we are not these bodies, we are uh, like completely different from this matter. And this matter was actually created by me, and we are actually the pure living entities. And actually, there is, you and me are qualitatively one. There is no actually qualitative difference between you and me. So that means I am also spiritual and you are also spiritual. So wise people, they always see us as a spiritual entities, completely apart from this matter, and understand that just like there is a difference between a image when it is reflected in a mirror and when it is seen in a eye of another person. One is large and another is small. Similarly, there is a difference between you and me. Right? You are like a jiva, chit shakti, kana belong to me, and I am the Paramatma. So in this way, there is a difference between you and me, but uh, we both are like non-different from each other, because we are like both are spiritual, and there is an eternal like relationship between us as a bondage of love between us. In that way, we are one. So in this way, he is addressing that we like actually we have our deep connection. So in this way, he gave that instruction. So he understood that he is actually my friend, a real friend, and he gained that knowledge. In this way, one swan reminds the other swan about that condition, and he regained that memory which was previously lost because of aversion to the Lord. So in this way, the Paramatma, he gave that instruction to the Jiva, and Jiva has attained the Paramatma finally. So in this way, Narada Muni is telling that I have narrated this whole instruction as an allegory so that you will understand this story. So, and then, so in this way, when he told that this is an allegory, Prachinibar, he told that actually I could not understand what the story, what is the import of the story. Can you please explain? So then he explains that what are all the different analogies that are referred in that story that he narrated, which we have seen, like in material intelligence is represented by Puranjani, living entity trying to enjoy is represented by Puranjana, and that body is compared to chariot, 5 horses are compared to 5 senses, mind, intelligence. So all the different analogy and the Chandavega's attack, the old age, how it is attacking. So all these analogy he has elaborated. So in this way, he says that because of out of ignorance, when he is identifying with that body, he got entangled in this material world and rotating. So, how the jiva is undergoing that samsara, he narrates that forgetting the Lord, the jiva, when he is under different modes, he is traveling in different directions. Sometimes when he is in sattva goodness, he performs pious activities and he goes to heaven. And in rajoguna, he performs laborious activities for sense enjoyment and he achieves human form of life. And sometimes in ignorance, he performs abominable activities. Because of that, he attains misery and attains the birth in animal kingdom. So in this way, and according to different modes, he is attaining different different bodies. So according to his actions. So just like he gives the analogy of a dog. So a dog, while wandering, it goes to different houses, and in some houses he will get food, and in some houses he will get chastisement. Similarly, a living entity, when he is bound by different desires, he sometimes enjoys and sometimes suffers. Sometimes goes above, sometimes stays in the middle planetary system, sometimes go below the planetary systems, attain some other things. In this way, sometimes priya and sometimes apriya, means sometimes things which are he likes, sometimes which he doesn't like. So like that, he always undergo these things. But all these miseries, the living entity when he is suffering, by karma, he cannot overcome all these miseries, like in these different forms. So it is like when all the remedies, like how to counteract all the miseries that he is trying. So that is compared to a person carrying a huge burden on one shoulder. So sometimes he may shift that burden to another shoulder. Sometimes it may shift it to head. Sometimes again to other shoulder. So in this way, the burden is there, but it is only shifting from one place to another. So all the remedies that one tries to counteract the miseries in the material world, that is compared to shifting of this burden. So, but how to actually come out of this situation? So that actually that situation can be come out only by practicing bhakti. There is no other way. One cannot counteract this situation by another act of karma, so by sacrifice or other karma kandic activities. So only by practicing bhakti, only by developing true knowledge. So all this is like a dream. In dream, so many sufferings might come. So, but no matter what solutions he gives within the dream, he will not be able to come out of that illusion. But only by awakening, he will come out of all the sufferings in the dream. Similarly, only by soul, by understanding his original nature, by practicing bhakti, he will be able to come out of that situation and situation in original nature. So therefore, by practicing that bhakti, only remedy by bhakti to the Lord through Guru, and by developing that detachment and knowledge, he will be able to understand the Lord. And what is the best process for that? The hearing process, hearing the glories of the Lord, hearing from Bhagavatam, hearing the other activities of the Lord. So that is the best, and by which developing prema, he will be able to come out of that situation. And that Krishna Kada, wherever that Krishna Kada happens, the devotees, they are very, very eager to live there, hear and chant the Lord's glories. And in that Krishna Kada, when one is absorbed, where that is like the nectar of glories of the Lord, when it enters into the ears, he drinks those nectar of glories of the Lord through his eager ears. For them, whoever is drinking like that, for them, it will relieve from all the hunger, thirst, lamentation, everything. So, but if someone is always disturbed by hunger, thirst, lamentation, illusion, he will not be able to cultivate his attachment to the Lord. So, in this way, by hearing Krishna Katha, he will be able to come out of this whole material entanglement. And the Lord, he cannot be known by any other process other than the bhakti. So even great personalities like Brahma, Shiva, Kumaras, me, Karmi, so they cannot know the Lord by other practices, but only a devotee, when we, all these personalities, when we practice bhakti, and through that practice, the Lord will reveal to some extent. So in this way, only through bhakti, bhaktyaha mekaya grahya, only by bhakti, the Lord can be known. And therefore, Vedic rituals like karmakandic activities like sacrifices, the animals, all these things, this is actually never, and attaining Swarga is never the legitimate goal. That means it is not the proper goal, because ultimately these things will end. So therefore, because people doesn't know where the Lord resides in Vaikuntha and Goloka, so therefore they think that the purpose of Vedas is to simply perform karmas and attain heaven. So, but that is not actually the goal of life. Goal of life is to attain the Lord. So in this way, you forgot your condition, not knowing that you foolishly sacrificed many animals, which are like they are ready to take revenge on you. So therefore, you did not know the supreme activity. So you perform the real activity which is pleasing to the Lord. So by that you will attain the Lord. So he is actually very dear to everyone. You take shelter of him. He is the mother and father of this whole universe. His feet will give shelter to everyone. And those feet will give lot of auspiciousness for everyone. By worshipping that Lord who is most beloved, who is like who the person will develop freedom from all the fear and suffering. So in this way, a person who knows that there are two Atmas, so soul and super soul, and worshipping the Lord through Guru, he will attain the Lord. So after, in this way, I have answered all your questions. Like that, he mentioned the story of Puranjan. Then, in order to make Prachin Barhi renounce immediately, he gives one more analogy. He says that there is a deer that was grazing, that was completely absorbed in eating grass, grazing on the grass, and he is enjoying with his mate in a garden full of flowers. And his ears are attracted to the songs of the bees. And but he is not noticing that there were hungry tigers in front of him, and there was a hunter behind him ready to shoot with his arrows. So basically, that analogy is represented by that. This is one more allegory is narrated, that deer. So the deer is like a person who is completely entangled in sense enjoyment and completely got enamored by the uh, the like in family life, absorbed in there, and not noticing that the time is passing away in terms of days and nights, and death can approach at any time. That is represented by this hunter. So therefore, you should notice that you are enjoying like that. You immediately you can renounce. So like that, he give that advice. So Prachin Barhi immediately understands everything, and he was like Narada Muni wanted him to start practicing bhakti immediately. So that's why he gave that analogy. So he understood that actually he actually bhakti process is the main process, and my teachers, they don't know that this bhakti process, therefore they engaged me in karma. So actually what you are saying is true, and these teachers, although they are self-controlled, still they got bewildered, so therefore they are engaging me in karma. So therefore uh, therefore I will practice bhakti. And after saying that, he asks one more doubt, that a living entity performs an activity in this life with a body, but that body gets destroyed. But he enjoys the results in his next life in another body. So whatever activity he has done, that is already done and gone. And through which body he has done, that body is also gone. So how is he experiencing suffering or happiness for the activities he has done in this life? So what is the proof that because everything, whatever he has done, has uh, left behind in this body only. So in this way, he asked that doubt about karma. So then Narada Muni, he says that actually with what body he has committed any activity, that body is still present. So subtle body, it remains even after death. So like previous life, someone has performed some activity. So that activity, the result of that activity will be stored in subtle body. And since the same subtle body is carried through another body in the next life, so therefore the result of that activity he attains in the next life. This is similar to a dream. In a dream, whatever he observes in a daytime, he gets those things in his uh, dream. Although senses are not working, his body is not working, but still the mind is active, and through the subtle body he is experiencing in a dream. Similarly, at death, he will give up the gross body, but through subtle body, he takes up another gross body, and through that subtle body only he is enjoys or suffers. So in this way, because he is identifying with a gross body, he performs so an activity, and that activity is stored, the result of that action, in a subtle body, and that subtle body gives another gross body, because those reactions are there too for him to experience. So whatever, like one can, just by observing a person's activities through his senses, through his jnanendriyas or karmendriyas, we can understand what is his consciousness. One's chitta, one can infer. So, and by just by inferring one's chitta, one can also understand what is his previous life. Like just by observing the chitta, sometimes chitta will perform nice activities, auspicious activities, and sometimes inauspicious activities. So by seeing that, oh, he previously has done inauspicious activities, therefore now he is committing. Or previously has done some auspicious activities, therefore he is doing auspicious. So therefore we can guess a person's past by observing his present mind. So in general, a person in dream, he will not, like in dreams or in mental impressions, sometimes we see some things which are not at all experienced in this life. So these are actually coming from our previous life. So that is a proof that how we can know that we existed in previous life. So sometimes some mental impressions will come which we have not at all experienced in this life, but still some those things may appear in our mind. So those are actually coming from our previous body, because whatever we have not experienced through our senses, those we will never experience through our mind, because we have experienced them in previous life. Those things are coming here. So actually by the mind, observing the mind indicates his previous past forms, and mind also indicates his future, if or what kind of future he will receive, that by just by observing the current mind, whether he will attain liberation, that can also be known by seeing the mind situation of the mind. So, and like sometimes in dream it may appear that things which are like not not in a proper situation. Sometimes one may see golden mountain, so that is because he has seen some gold and seen some mountain. He, in the dream, it will combine those two, like, and together it appears like a golden mountain. So this, because of different situations, those different dreams will come. So every living entity is accompanied by his subtle body, which is like mind, and through that mind, because he has experienced in different species different experiences, all those experiences are stored in that mind, in that chitta, and in this way he experiences. But a devotee who is like completely having that Shuddha Sattva, completely freed from all the false impressions, he does not undergo any transmigration, and he sees according to how the Lord will reveal to him. So in this way, he will not feel that transmigration. But a person who has that identification with the body, whoever commits thinking that this body is mine and whatever I can enjoy through this body, he is creating different reactions through that body. So, but sometimes one may say that the subtle body is also destroyed whenever we sleep, after deep sleep, because even in the deep sleep, even the subtle body also will not function, mind also will not function. Dreams will come in a semi-sleep state, but in deep sleep, there is mind also will not function. So that means in deep sleep, subtle body is getting destroyed and created again. He says that no, actually subtle body is not there always, even in deep sleep, or even when one transmigrate from one body to another. The subtle body is always there. Subtle body will never die unless a person attains liberation. Even in pralaya also, subtle body always remains. So, and even in childhood, a person may appear very cute and very innocent. That is because his senses are not yet developed. So, therefore, his inclinations for enjoyment are not revealed in childhood. But slowly, when he attains youth, all his inclinations will be removed, will be seen. So in this sense, the subtle body is always with the person, even in a deep sleep, even at the time of death, even at the time of when he is a child. So subtle body is always accompanying. So therefore, always throughout his uh, movement in this samsara, the subtle body is the thing that is always there, present in the person. That subtle body is actually combination of pranas, gunas, and the mind intelligence and the ahankara. So because of that subtle body, he is experiencing different emotions and different bodies in different living entities. So at the time of death, just like a caterpillar moves from one leaf to another leaf without not leaving the previous leaf, it slowly moves to the another leaf. Similarly, at the time of death, the living entity, his identification with the previous gross body is there, but slowly when he attains another gross body, slowly he loses that remembrance of the previous body and identifies with the current body. So in this way, the samsara will continue. So to counteract this, again, worship the Lord. In this way, you will come out. In this way, Narada Muni gave that instruction on karma also. So Prajin Barisha understood all these things, and immediately he also retired and took to the path of bhakti and attained the perfection, and he attained Sarupya Mukti, same form of the Lord. So in this way, this whole narration of Prajin Bari is narrated, and whoever hears this, this understands this, he will also be freed from subtle body and attains the Lord, and it removes one from bodily conceptions, and all the doubts related to karma will be cleared by studying this story very deeply. So in this way, the story of Puranjana is narrated. So we'll continue our discussion where the activities of Prachetas are mentioned in the next two chapters, where Prachetas attain the darshan of Vishnu, and in his next life they got instructions from Narada Muni. So all these things we'll discuss later. I'll stop here. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna to you.
We'll end here. And the Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.